The governor's chief policy advisor, Arthur Clark, says more than 6 checks have been reissued to Adelup staffers this week. It's part of a remedy to pay back retroactive raises given to Adelup staffers last year. Raises the Attorney General of Guam has determined to be illegal.
There were 68 checks that were issued this week, okay, and they've been returned, almost all of them, about 60, right? They've been endorsed. The other 8 haven't been issued out. Those are, a kind of some bookkeeping issues being corrected, and some people might not be here on island to actually endorse a check, so they're being held. Out of last year, the number that's being used is 107.
Among those issued checks include Clark himself, who says he endorsed the check and returned it to DOA immediately. 107 unclassified staff employees from the governor and lieutenant governor's office received pay adjustments made retroactively last year. 39 of these staffers no longer work at Adelup and won't be issued a check.
Of course, the governor is still working on how do we resolve that issue.
Clark says roughly $400,000 was reissued and returned back to the general fund. He says last year about $600,000 in total was made in pay adjustments,
which leaves roughly a balance of about $200,000 from the payments last year that still need to be reimbursed. And again, that would come from those 40 or so employees who aren't working here today.
The Attorney General of Guam says she does not support this route Adelup is taking to repay back the retro, as it's a failure of public trust, but notes it is not illegal either.
He appreciates the suggestion, and he welcomes it, and it will be part. It has been part of his deliberation, and he respects the Attorney General, but he is moving forward with implementing the policy call as he thinks best serves what he's trying to accomplish.
As for Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz, he believes the repayment plan is wrong. Today he introduced Bill 222 to, quote, straighten crooked salary schemes. The measure would prohibit bonus pay and mandate proper pay and pay adjustments for unclassified employees. He says the measure is aimed to prevent, quote, strategic corruption and manipulation of salaries of unclassified government employees and prevents further unlawful salary adjustments by amending sections that authorize the regulation of gubernatorial staff salaries, end quote. And while the law allows the governor to set salaries of his office, Bill 222 would ensure those salaries are paid in 26 equal installments from the authorized salary date, thus, quote, preventing any scheme to pay a year's salary in one pay period.
The Vice Speaker brought up previously, the separations of powers and, restoring the balance and the separation of powers, and even talking about bringing a lawsuit. So apparently, that's a one-way street, because it sounds to me like what he's trying to do now is to interfere with what's in the law relative to the governor's powers on how he deals with his staff.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintanilla.